The Cayley Chronicles, Potted Plant Edition, written by Janice Costa, narrated by Lorraine Sienna Reed. So, there was this large potted plant on our deck. Well, not so much a plant. The plant sort of had an accident a few months ago. Totally not the fault of this Maligator, of course, even though the plant was in a plant crate, and perhaps the Maligator helpfully removed the plant crate. But maybe some of the plant got chewed up and stomped on in the process. But I repeat, totally not my fault. I am a sweet Malinois, as sweet a Malinois as ever you'll find. And who can blame me for having such a soft heart that I free tomato plants, even at extreme risk of being yelled at in Mom's semi-stern voice? But the potted part stayed on the deck, even if the plant wasn't really there anymore. It was a big, potted, used-to-be plant. Enormous, in fact. So big that Mommy needed 2 hands to lift it. I remember, because when she first brought it home, she said, "This is one heavy plant. It's going on the deck, and there it will stay because I'm not lifting this again." Lucky Mom, though, who has a great good fortune of having a Malinois, and not just any Malinois, but a helpful Malinois. The kind of Malinois which is so helpful that despite her diminutive size, she would move a heavy plant just to make sure Mom didn't have to do it. But knowing Mom, even in her loving and helpful Maligator moved the plant all the way to the backyard, Mom would feel like she had to move it back, and that wouldn't be very helpful. So, an idea. Us Maligators are full of ideas. We aim to please. Well, sometimes we just aim to eat and play and charge the fence and bark at the neighbor's Aussie, who, to be fair, really needs barking at. And sometimes we aim to chase the cats. But again, the cats want to be chased. They strut around and then look at us with their glowy cat eyes, just daring us to chase them. It's a great big game. Everyone has fun until something gets knocked over really loudly and then Mom says, "Leave the cat! Leave the cat! Leave the cat alone!" And then the cat smirks because he thinks he won. And he's a cat, and cats just smirk in general. But it's all fun and good exercise too, and no one gets hurt except for the occasional lamp. But that was totally not my fault. The cat set me up. Anyway, the idea. So, I'd moved the potted former plant to a safe place in the far, far back of the yard. But then I realized Mom would only find it and move it back, which would not be so helpful. She says her back hurts, and did I mention the pot was very, very heavy? So, using simple math, I made it less heavy. A Mal who does math, you ask? I know, it's pretty amazing, even to me, because I'm even more of an artistic right-brained Malinois rather than a math-doing left-brained Malinois. But sometimes I do math, like when Mom is giving us some of her life cereal. And I have to count to make sure Lexi doesn't get more than I do. Lexi always tries to change positions to make sure she gets an extra one. Ever since she got that elite dock diving title, she thinks she's more elite than the resident Malinois, which is so unfair. And sometimes Mommy gives us each one. But then Lexi moves over and gets another one, and I don't. So I have to count them really, really carefully to make sure I get enough. Because if it's not equal, I have to nose poke Mommy until I get another one. And then Lexi tries to get another one, so I have to get more and count higher and higher to make sure I always get at least the same amount. So yes, I've been working on my math because it's survival skills. A Malinois who gets one less life cereal square could starve to death, and that would be terrible. So I looked at the great big plant pot and thought, that was really hard for a petite girl like me to drag all the way off the deck and clear across the yard, and I thought petite and utterly adorable, and also a fierce and scary Malinois. Mommy is only a human girl, not so very fiercey or scary. She only barely has a stern voice and no snarly face at all. So if this potted plant weighed 30 pounds, it would be hard for her to drag it back. Or maybe if it weighed 300 pounds. I don't have a scale, so there's no way to know for sure. But I knew it was heavy, so I realized there was only one way to help protect Mommy from hurting her back, and that was division. Just to be safe, I figured the potted plant maybe weighed 300 pounds because it was big and heavy, and 300 pounds is a big and heavy number. But 1 pound, well, 1 pound is not big and heavy. Mommy carries 1 pound things all the time, like the time she brought home 1 pound of bacon. And then the whole house smelled like bacon for days, and it was heavenly. I wish I had some bacon now. Malinois love bacon, and if you have a Malinois, you should make them some bacon right now. But if you're so unfortunate as to not have a Malinois, you can make some bacon for me, and I'll eat it and follow you around as long as you have more bacon, and I'll pretend to be your Malinois. We both really enjoy that, I think. But anyway, division. I figured the best way to make that big, heavy, formally potted plant not so big and heavy was to divide it by 300. Simple math, right? Malinois math. So I divided into 300 parts, carefully calibrating each one with my teeth to ensure each piece was exactly 1/300th of the whole. And then I scattered them artfully around the yard to give the whole thing a nice artistic touch. And voila! No more heavy lifting for Mommy. Am I a good dog or what? Helpful? That's what Malinois are. If you don't have one, you should go get one. And if you do, go make your helpful Malinois some bacon. You'll both be glad you did. XOXO, Kelly.